Hey, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Cece Kamor, and I'm so glad that you decided to stop by and check out this video, Single at 35. It's what it is. And I am definitely here to share with you about my journey. I first want to thank you again for stopping by. And if you have a chance, definitely like the video if you like it, comment, share your thoughts, and subscribe so you can stay connected with me. We can stay connected together. So I will say that yes, I am the age I said I am. And I also, I've never been married before. I never have had children. So I just want to share those pieces there. I've never even been engaged before, so never even been close to it. And so I want to share kind of like why I think, I've been through that. And also, I hope if there's something that you can learn from this video, definitely I want you to take it and learn from it. So I will say that I absolutely did not expect to be at this point still single. And not because I felt like I was so great, at least I didn't think so. Actually, that was part of the problem. It actually was the opposite. But because my parents were married straight out of college, and they were college sweethearts, and they were married in their early 20s. And so that's what I grew up seeing. I just thought that's how it was supposed to be. And also, of course, their circle of friends were married. People that I saw were married. And I also grew up in a church, the church. And so in our church, people were married. Like, you didn't really talk about being single, what that looked like. It was just a different time. And so singleness is something that, as we know, with society, it's become more prevalent. But when I was growing up, that's not what I saw. And certainly we're conditioned to see and sometimes be what we've seen as children. And so I just thought it was normal. I thought I was going to go to college and I was going to get engaged, okay? Like in college, and I'm on my way, okay? Not so. So I also need to say too, I think, I didn't grow up like thinking about a fairy tale wedding or anything. Like, that wasn't me. But I definitely love love. I still love love. And so I do think that as a woman that I had this like idea of love and what I thought it was supposed to be. And for me, that was marriage. And so I mean, everybody's different. I think those were my preconditions and situations that led me to think that, oh, well, you'll be married soon, like, or like in your 20s. But I'm just different, and I'm okay with that now. So at any rate, let me tell you, right? So a couple of things. I have embraced more of who I am now at 35. Like, I actually must say, I am thankful that I wasn't married sooner. No knock on anyone who gets married earlier. I think that's great. I have been in several weddings. I have been happy for my friends. And some people would say, that maybe they experienced like envy or like, I wish I would, that wasn't me. Like, I didn't necessarily like look at my friends and then be like, oh my gosh, like I'm the last one left. I just knew that I wanted it for myself. Like, I didn't play the comparison game, but I just knew that I wanted it for myself. And so it's just something that I realized. And with that, I will also say, at this point, I have a better understanding of me as a person. And I realize the older I get, I'll have an even better understanding, because the whole idea is that with age comes maturity. But certainly I was like, okay, like now when I look back, I'm so thankful I didn't get married early, because for me, I'm not talking about anybody else. But for me, I needed to figure some things out about myself first. I would have been going in completely trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And I just don't want to, like, I don't want to do that now. Like, and when I think about it, it's like, no, that's not a good idea. So at any rate, let me tell you, some of the things I had to do, because I think I also want this video to be like, okay, if you're, in your 20s, your 30s, maybe even your 40s, you can speak to things even I can't. But definitely, like, what to do while you're waiting. If you're like me and you were like, why am I here? Like, I definitely think there are things you can do while you're waiting. Like now I'm at a point where I'm like, yes, like it's a gift to me. And I can so appreciate being single in a way that I could not before. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, y'all. I wasn't ready to accept the fact that I wasn't appreciating it. Like, I think I spent so much time like, oh my gosh, like I wish I was married. But let me tell you what I did, right? So, first of all, I had to recognize my patterns, okay? So, there were some patterns in my life that I noticed with the men that I was seeing that I was just like, why am I going after, like, why am I experiencing the same types of situations, okay? And so, I'll tell you, ultimately, a lot of times we look at other people and we say like, oh, well, they da 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 da. It's a reflection of ourselves. And so what I realized is that I had some brokenness, like some things I needed to handle as a girl, like as a little girl, the little girl inside of me, expecting things that just weren't reality, and really kind of putting these ideas of a man on some of the men that I was dating that it wasn't fair to them, because that's not who they were. Like, they were showing me who they were. And I was expecting things that, and not only did they show me, they also told me. And it just wasn't, it wasn't conducive for a healthy relationship at times. And so I had to learn more about myself, and that actually came through therapy. Hello. Okay. That we don't always want to talk about it, but listen, okay, I had to go through some healing, some self-work, some acknowledging of my patterns of behavior, and not just dealing with relationships and love and wanted to be married, but just with myself. I had to deal with the person that was me. And you can do that in therapy. You can do that no holds bar, like really addressing the issues in some of the situations that you're experiencing, because you're real about it. Like, if you're real about it, you get what you put in. And so I did. I sat down with a therapist and a counselor who was able to help me discuss some of the things that I needed to discuss. Not to mention, it was, like I said, it wasn't just related to patterns of behavior. My family, I'd experienced grief. My father had passed away a few years ago. And so, I was constantly working, striving. And those are things that I had to discuss and help me get really real about some things. So I also, if you know anything about me, like, I speak from a faith-based perspective, y'all. I had to really get real about some strongholds that I had that were keeping me from being not just like ready for marriage, but also just help me be the best woman that I could be. Like, what in the world, Candace? Like, so some strongholds, some things that needed to be broken. And how did I do that? There was a trusted group of women at the church I was attending at the time that prayed for me, y'all. I had to get real. I'm telling y'all, I got real about some things. I didn't even know, okay? Like, oh my goodness. But I had to acknowledge them. Okay, I had to acknowledge what I was experiencing. Some soul ties that I had created, y'all, that you hear me right, I had created. And decide, like, no, like, I appreciate the prayers of these women. And that's why I'm really big on older women pouring into young women, because the majority of the women have been through they were women. And I mean, in some cases, you just need some trusted people, trusted women, okay? Trusted women that could walk through with you and say, you know what, we're gonna hold you up in prayer. And that's what they did. They prayed for me. And I know that's what, because I was able to get real, that's what helped me get through that point. Okay. And so I also started a health and exercise regimen. Okay. I started to change my diet. I lost some weight, and I'm still in that regimen now, like trying to get consistent about it and doing some things for my body and my health and my wellness. Like, I didn't want to be, see, this has nothing to do with a man. Okay. This has to do with me. Like, I want to be healthy for me. Okay. I need to drink water for me. So while I'm sitting over here looking for a man, listen, I need to take care of me and make sure that my numbers are checking out. Okay. So that's what I did. I said, let me go to the gym a few times a week. For me, it was a gym membership. Maybe for you, it might not be a gym membership, but I decided to get help, do some things that I knew would help me become my best self. And that's one of the things that helped me do it. And so I started to eat better, eat some things that I knew I needed to in order to change, like I said, some of my levels, because I want to be around. Like, I don't want to leave the earth earlier than I should, because I didn't take care of myself. Okay. And so the other thing I did too is I started to discover more about myself. Like, who am I? Like, I was trying to figure that out. And see, what happens is that I would end up getting in relationships and changing to meet the ideals and the standards of men, when I'm like, wait a minute, that shouldn't be the case. I'm not saying that compromise isn't necessary in relationships, but our identity should be formed before we go in. You need to know who you are, okay? I needed to know who I am. And I tell you what, I am so thankful that now I know more about myself. Like, I'm an introvert. It's good to know, because that helps me understand how I need to go about. Like, I have to make an effort to be social and go out and socialize and go in social places, which I can't do so much of right now. But I have to do things differently. Like, what's my work style? What's my personality like? I mean, all of these things I can now speak to when I go into a relationship. It'll make me so much better, because I'm able to say, this is who I am, you know? And if he isn't able to accept that, then I'm not going to try to make it work for you. But I mean, you know, let's just being real about where I am at this point. I also started serving others. Like, my heart is to support the next generation of girls and young women who want to be awesome. And what I decided to do is start to give my time and volunteer it and share with young women some of the experiences I've been through. Like, I'm not just doing this now on here. I'm doing this now. Like I've done this in my personal life. And it has been so rewarding for me. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and I love it. And, you know, I'm just thankful for the young women that allow me to share. But it's important to get out of self. And that's one of the things that I did, is I said, you know what, I have to get out of myself and start to give to other people. And I did. And I also started giving my time to another organization that was serving meals. Like it's easy to be all in yourself when you in yourself. Like, and it's nothing wrong with like doing things for you, but also it's good to give to other people, because then we think less of ourselves, you know? So, I mean, and for real, if you know, you got a relationship with the Lord, that's what we're supposed to be doing anyway. So, I also started educating myself. So at 30, I decided to go back and get my PhD, and now I'm almost finished, but I decided to get real about, okay, educating myself academically, financially. Listen, I want to be my best self. Okay. That means getting my finances right, like understanding what goes into that. Okay. Paying down some of this student loan debt. Hello. Okay. Just doing the things that I know I need to do for myself, but also so that I'm better when I go into a relationship. Okay. So biblically, I need to start understanding scripture more. Like how am I going to understand what a wife and who a wife is supposed to be if I'm not in, like, if I don't know. So I started reading more. I started developing my relationship with the Lord. Like this is the time to do it. Even professionally, this is the time to start to advance yourself. Do you need to do some things personally for yourself? Start to travel, y'all. I started to travel and do some things. Like I said, start to do things that you love. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. This is the time that you don't have to wait and ask anybody else. And I enjoyed it. So yeah, and I'll tell you too, there were a lot of things that I realized I needed to, what I call, stop, pause, and start. And so that's what you have to ask yourself during this time. What is it that you need to stop, pause, and start? For me, yes, I needed to be more social, but also I decided to take some time away from dating so that I could figure out who I am first. Like, I just realized I kept expecting something. Even when I wasn't dating, it still was like this idea of like being with a man that I'm like, I need to do some things a little differently. And so maybe it'll help too if you decide some things you need to stop, pause, and start in terms of like, do you need to start educating yourself? What do you need to do for you? Maybe it's a cooking class. Like, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. It's always great recipes out here to learn. Do we need to clean our house? Like, how we gonna have a family and our house is dirty? Like, I'm just saying, like what is it that you need to do, that I need to do to help us be better? And so I tell you, now I'm in a whole different place, you all. Like, I could definitely say that I look at singleness as something that I appreciate. Okay, I am really grateful for it, and I'm no longer counting down the days. Like, Lord, like, when is he coming? Like, I don't think about it like that. I don't, because I started to see it as something that I was really, really grateful for. And I'm not saying that I don't want to be married. Yes, I would love to be married. I would love to. And I also realize that this is a gift. I think sometimes that when I do get married and I end up having my family, I'm going to look back and be like, man, all them years I was single, I'm so grateful for it. Like, I don't necessarily think I want to go back, but I'll just realize how precious this time is. Like, I heard someone else say, like, this is the time, if you have a relationship with the Lord, like, are you fasting? Are you praying? Like, this is the time to do it. But I realize everyone's idea or situations of singleness can be different too. So I realize maybe you're coming into singleness after being married, or you do have children as a single, and those circumstances can also present some different situations. Okay, so you might have to do things a little differently, but still take this time for you. Take time to appreciate where you are and value it. Value it. Be the best you can be. If you're a mother, be the best mother you can be. Be the best person you can be. And then I'm sure things will shift. Okay, so I am still on this journey with you. Okay, and I'm really grateful about it. And so I think I may do another video just talking about single at 35 and just some of the things that I've heard and learned about this time. And so yeah, I'm so grateful that you decided to tune in with me. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you on another video. All right, I'll talk with you later. Bye.